Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I was actually going to film a plant chores, but then I decided to tackle some begonia care. So I'm like, I might as well just make this a dedicated begonia video. But the ones that I have here, I have 3 begonias. I'm going to repot 2 of them and then do some chopping. One of the ones that I'm going to repot is the new Pink Maculata that I got last month. She's been doing very well, and I actually have quite a few growth points coming in, but I'll give you a closer look at her in a second. So she really just needs an upsize. I don't think I'm going to chop her or anything yet because I want her to grow out and just get a chance for growing this one and seeing how it does before I decide to go ahead and take a cutting. I really want her to get a little bit bigger. And then I have a pot for her. This is the pink pot that I got at IKEA when I was there. So this is her new pot. She's in a tiny little 3-inch pot right now. So the new pot should fit in here. This one here is Begonia White Ice, and this one actually doesn't need a repot or anything like that, but I do want to take some cuttings. Right now it's currently growing two vines, and it started a 3rd one right here, but I think with these 2 longer ones I want to go ahead and take a couple cuttings. This one's really pretty too. It has a lot of polka dots in it. I love the green and silver contrast. She's a very pretty begonia. I still feel like I am not good with begonias. I feel like I do okay when they're not in high humidity, but for some reason, like terrarium type begonias, I'm struggling with. The terrarium that I had set up with you guys and did, there's like 2 begonias in there that aren't doing well, but good thing I took some clippings to put in like a different little closed terrarium. Yeah, I might have to redo that because I don't know what's going on or why it's not doing well. I really do love begonias, and I'm kind of sad that I don't do well with them. Well, some of them. This here is my snow-capped variegated, my big one. I was actually just taking a photo of her because I'm about to chop her again. So this is the beautiful original plant. I've chopped her back 2 different times now, but this is her latest growth. I don't know how much of her I want to chop, but I'm probably going to take at least 4 to 5 clippings. And I did upsize her last time, so I'm not going to be upsizing her this time. I feel like with the upsize, she's going to be able to stay in here for a while. And I did start a 2nd plant of her, which is right here. And I thought she would branch out by now, but she's not branching out. What I might do is just cut the end of this one because it's like one long strand. So I might go ahead and do that, and then hopefully that will encourage some branching and I can make another full 2nd pot like her. So that is the plan. I feel like these 3 begonias will be enough for it today. And then I have my mix here, and then I brought some nursery pots out, and then the clippings, I actually need to get my perlite. I think it's over there, right up there. I'm going to be propping the cuttings in strictly perlite, and then I will set that in a humidity bin so they can root up. I have rooted these in water, the snow-capped cuttings, and they do well, but the last few times I've taken some clippings, I've done them in strictly perlite. I like to have a little bit of roots first before actually potting them into substrate, at least for begonia. I feel like I've tried potting begonia in a mix like this before and they didn't do that well, so I'm going to get some roots first. I was looking for my potting mat. I'm like, I did bring one out. Hopefully the lighting's okay for you guys today. I have a ring light, but if it overheats, it shuts off automatically. It is very gloomy today. It's a bit chilly. It's actually only like 62 out, which is a bit on the chilly side. It's definitely cold outside. I went on a walk, was it yesterday out there? And it was like the perfect temperature. It was maybe barely 70 and it was sunny and it was such a nice day. I was inside for like 2 days editing that Hoya video. It took me so long to get all that footage and everything done. And I just needed to get out of the house and move and just not stare at a screen. So it was nice to actually go on a nice walk. I'm trying to decide which one to do first. Since we have 2 to repot, let's do this one first. This one here, since we're just taking clippings. This is just an alcohol swab. All these begonias live in my plant room on that shelf on the back wall. And I was gonna go in there and film, but I have that table in the middle of my room with all those Monstera cuttings. So I can't really film in there. And then I just released more predatory bugs, more ladybugs. So there's a mess everywhere. I'm gonna have to water it in there again this weekend and I'll clean it up. But in the meantime, I'm just going to bring the plants out here, clean up these little crispies, little crispy bits. So yeah, they live in ambient conditions in my plant room, which for me is roughly, I would say tinkering around 50%. Sometimes it gets in the 40s. Sometimes if it's a super rainy day, it'll be more humid in there. But they've been doing pretty good just in ambient conditions. Sometimes I feel like if you get, this one I feel like gets a little bit more crispy, like crispy edges, which could be a humidity issue, or I could have let it dry out. This one's in a 4-inch pot and I do see quite a bit of roots. Begonia roots are so fine, but I don't feel like it needs an upsize yet or anything, but I may have let it to get underwatered because some of the plants in there I do have to water twice a week. It really depends. But now that we are officially like into fall and moving into the colder season, it won't be as hot in there, which will be nice. So things will be able to stay more moist throughout winter. So I don't have to water as frequently. I still water about once a week, but I don't water everything once a week. It really depends on the plants and how they do. I'm gonna cut a couple crispy edges. That one, that one, that one. Okay, so for her, what I'm thinking is just doing the 2 ends. I think I'm just gonna do here on this one and do this nice chunk. Boop. That'll be good. So we'll stick this in a little cup of perlite, and I'm not going to mess with this new branch that has started here in the middle. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to do, we'll do right here. Like that. So we'll have 2 propagations. That one and that one. And that's it for that one. I need to find an actual pot for her. This is like a self-watering nursery pot thing. I just don't have it set up like that. I just have it sitting in here. But now that I do have some extra pots, when I took down all the Hoya, I can find a new one for her. So yeah, that is her. She's still very much beautiful. And then she'll hopefully maybe even branch off more, and then I'll have more vines growing. I feel like she grows pretty fast. I initially had this plant, I put it in pond. I don't know. I don't know if I filmed that. And I took a propagation and put it in pond, and I don't know what happened. It completely rotted. It didn't like it. Unless it was like user error, which is probably the case. So that one's good. I'll do all the clippings very last. This might be a fresh packet. I didn't label them. So I'm going to leave this one back on here. That's a beneficial mite packet. I'll do the Pink Maculata last. Let's go ahead and do the snow-capped variegated. So this one here is in a small pot, which I feel like is drying out. So I'm going to go ahead and upsize her, the propagation. I'm going to go ahead and plop her in a 3.5 inch. So it'll go, this is a 3 inch and this is a 3.5 inch, but it looks so much bigger. Because I have these and I think they have it labeled as like 2.5 inch, 3.5 inch, and 4 inch. But honestly, I think it's 3 inch, 4 inch, and maybe 5 inch. Because this is like, I don't know, this is very big for a 3.5 inch nursery pot, I think. So I'm going to go up to here. Let's go ahead and take our clipping. Let's see. I'm just going to do, yeah, let's go like right here. Oh, you can't even see. I'm gonna go right here. Boop. That is a good chunk of fur. Oh shoot, there was a ladybug. I'm sorry. I knocked a ladybug off. It's crawling on my mat. I'm sorry. Usually I just do ends when I'm propagating. I don't like to do individual cuttings. I feel like I have a hard time with individual cuttings, but I wonder if I leave like two nodes, like if I cut this and leave like multiple nodes, if it'll do better. Why don't I go ahead and do that? I'm gonna cut this again here. And so I'll have my end propagation, and then this one will reshoot from one of those nodes, but I feel like this one will still root and do okay. It's just the single ones that I have issues with. I don't know why. Okay, that is that one. And then let's go ahead and repot the base. I'm gonna move you down just a bit. And the mix here, this isn't technically like my aeroid mix. This one is more moisture retentive. I use this for a lot of my propagations and stuff like that. I would say this is 50-50 cocoa core and tree fern. And then I mix in perlite. And then I add some, there is some bark, maybe like 10% bark. And then I have charcoal, maybe like 10% horticultural charcoal. So there's 5 ingredients and it's a lot less. It's still aerated, like it's still chunky, but the cocoa core definitely helps it retain moisture. I use this a lot without the cocoa core, with just strictly tree fern, and it dried out so quickly. So the cocoa core definitely helps with moisture retention, and I feel like this is perfect for begonias or any kind of plant that loves like moisture. Okay, putting a little bit in there. And then I'm just going to lift and plop. Oh. Because this is the same mix here, so I don't need to disturb this root system. I feel like I took this propagation not that long ago. And then I'm just going to backfill. There's a couple more begonias I was looking at that I was interested in. I may end up trying the Jenny again. I had purchased one earlier this year, but it didn't do well. It was growing like all white or pink and it ended up just rotting. So I may try that one again. It is a very pretty begonia. And there was another one. I think the other one I was looking at is, there's not a lot for sale. Like, I feel like it's a harder one to get. It's a Rouge variegated, so it has pretty variegated like white and green leaves. But I think that one's a Rex begonia, not a cane begonia, so it grows differently. I'll water that through later. She looks so funny until she grows more. And this I don't have a pot for. No, I don't. I'll have to get a pot. I think I just had this one sitting on a saucer tray. And then for the big one, she is so freaking beautiful. She has some really beautiful leaves. I feel like I have a lot of different tones. This growth point up here is really pretty. This one here coming in. She is gorgeous. So where do I want to chop from? I definitely want to take from the 2 longest ones. Let's go ahead and cut like right here. Yeah, let's do like right here. And then we'll do the same on this one, like right there. And we'll do this in another spot. We'll do this. We'll do another big top section and a middle section. And same thing, we'll do a top section and a middle section. This one over here is just now growing, this new vine. There's one over here, and then one here, and one here. And there's two more up here. I have a lot of vines, probably from chopping back last time. It shot out multiple growth points. I do feel like I want some more though. Let's go ahead and do, I'm gonna do this end here. Let's do like right here. And then to even it out, I'm gonna do this one. And I think that's all I'll do because I really like this one. I wanna keep that one growing. So she's still pretty full. And then next time I'll cut from some of the other ones that I didn't cut from. Okay, she doesn't need to be repotted. Oh, I can't get over how pretty this begonia is. I think I'll just leave that one, and I'll leave that one. I don't want to make them too small. And so here's our pile of clippings. So far we have all these right here. So we'll do those last. Let's go ahead and do the Pink Maculata. Has it been a couple months? I forget the exact date that I got her, but it hasn't been that long ago. Maybe like not even 2 months. And so it took her like a bit to settle in, and this is a new leaf here. This one is the latest one, and she's getting ready to work on one right here. And then she has a vine on this side, and she's given me 2 leaves, this one and this one, which doesn't look, it's still variegated, but not like a ton of variegation. And then I actually noticed she has another one down here, another vine coming in right down there. And then she also has another leaf coming in right there. I don't know if it's making out on camera. So she does have multiple growth points coming in, which is a good thing. Okay, I'm gonna remove these mite packets for a second. That growth point just fell. What? Oh, that's kind of sad. Well, I mean, she still has another growth point, but that thing just fell off. I wonder why. This part of it is black. I wonder if it just rotted off. That is so sad. Okay. Clean up the little crispies. I will say this begonia seems very thick. Like the vine is extremely thick. So I have a regular Begonia Maculata. It was really huge, but I had moved it to the shelf by the front door, so it wasn't really getting any light, and it just started going downhill. And so I had taken a couple propagations, and I'm just going to restart that begonia and make sure to put it somewhere where it can get some light. The whole root system in the water just completely rotted. It was so gross. So that one is on the mend. I have those props actually rooting over by the window, but I feel like the vine on this one is just really thick. I feel like if I go to bend it, it's going to snap very easily compared to the regular Maculata. But I would like to get her kind of back upright a bit. Oh, I actually have several growth points. There's one there, and yeah, that's the big one there. So I had her in a little, it was one of those acrylic bins to give her a little bit more humidity to help her adjust, because I don't know what the seller had the plant in, like what conditions. And so I kind of acclimated her out of that, but I would say within the last 3 weeks or so, I put her in my IKEA cabinet to get more light, to hopefully encourage variegation. But it's not, you know, it's not really like super humid in there. So I feel like she's fine, like in ambient conditions. I don't feel like I would need to provide anything extra for this one. But I do need to upsize her. I'm actually watering her twice a week right now because she is in my cabinet now, and she's drying out very quickly. When I did get her, I didn't really repot her, so in the video I just gently like took her out of the original pot she came in and just backfilled maybe a ½ inch all the way around. But I do want to go ahead and upsize her because I don't want her drying out so frequently. I do see more roots on the outside. I mean, I feel like she probably could stay in here, but because she is in my cabinet right now, I just want to go ahead and get her upsized. So we're going to use this one here. I still can't believe I knocked that leaf off. What the heck? I can't believe I did that. Or it just rotted off on its own. I do see variegation on the stem, but I don't know if I see as much here. So I'll have to see. I was really hoping for some really pink, pretty leaves on her, but I may do a chop back. I'm going to see how the next few leaves, like maybe the next 2 leaves come out, and if I'm not getting much pink, I may chop her back because this leaf here, down here further, is really pink. This one, and there is a growth point here, so that might be pink, and then this one actually might be pink, so we'll see. But this one over here isn't that pink. Okay, I'm just plopping and filling around. I think she is going to appreciate this upsize for sure. Okay. And then where did I put it? Okay, so I had one of these acrylics, and so I grabbed a little bit taller one. I'm going to use this one to kind of anchor right down in here. And then I brought out some pink little butterfly clips. And I'm going to try and stake her, but I don't want to force, I don't think she's going to stay. I really don't. Although I don't think she's going to fit back in my IKEA cabinet if I force this leaf. Oh yeah, I don't want to force that. I'm just going to keep the short one. Okay, she's not going to get staked. Oh well, that's okay though. Knowing me, I would snap it. See, it's bugging me. It's leaning. It's not very... This is very flimsy. I did have thicker ones. I'll be right back. I do think I have thicker acrylics. I don't know where they all went, but these are very, very thin. I do have a pack of thicker ones. Say hi, baby. Okay, I found one. I had to go into the depths of my closet to find one. I don't know where they all went, but these are like super thick compared to that. And I also have this trellis. That would be really pretty. It has a dangle. I'm gonna try the trellis. Oh, no, okay. I'll do this thick one. Okay, that's better. So we'll water her at the end. I'm gonna quickly clean this off and grab my perlite, and we'll pot up the propagations next. Okay, we are back. I have my perlite right here and individual cups, and we'll go ahead and get these potted. So yeah, only 2 of the white ice, and then we have 1, 2,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 snow capped.
I'm actually going to need water or this is going to come falling out. And this is just regular water. Okay. The bottom leaf might rot because it's kind of squished down in there, but if it does, then oh well. All of the begonia propagations are in the sink. I'm going to rinse them off and put them in a bin and cover it with a lid, and they'll be under pretty high humidity with it sealed. I do have a ton of vent holes in these prop bins for some airflow, but with the lid secured, it stays really humid inside of here, so it'll help promote, you know, rooting and everything. So they'll really love being in a prop box. Give a little rinse. One fell out of their home, to push that down in there a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to stuff all these in here. I'm going to squeeze this last one in here. So that is what everyone is looking like down in there. Hopefully no one pops out. I'm worried that one's still going to pop out. I may have to get some of those little red graining pens that I have and secure some of those down in there. I might do that, but I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on this. Like so. This will go under grow lights, and then the only two that we upsized was this one here and the Pink Maculata. I'm just going to use some tap water and gently just moisten the soil a little bit. Because I really don't want to water these until this coming weekend. Like with my nutrients, I want them to be like on the same schedule, so I just kind of moisten that top layer. So those are done. That's her again. Oh, and let's get her pot. Where is her pot? Okay, hopefully this fits. I didn't even check. Oh yes, it's gonna fit nice in there. So she'll go back in my IKEA cabinet, and I really hope I get some more of that pink. You can really see her colors. The newest one. I'm not going to rinse these under the sink because I'm going to put those mite packets back on these ones. She's going to look so pretty when she gets big. I'll chop her back eventually, but like I said, I'm going to let her grow some more. And there is our propagation. Hopefully I get a few branches from chopping her back. And that is that one, and this one here. She's still pretty full. I don't know. I'm always sad to chop this one whenever I remember last time I was really sad to chop her. I'm happy I did because I got more growth points and everything, but she always looks so short after I chop her. And I'm like, oh, she was so long and pretty. But that's okay. She's going to grow back in no time. I love this begonia so much. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm going to get those put away and get my mess cleaned up and get busy on some other plant chores I have to get done today, but I appreciate you guys. I'll be filming again here soon, later in the week, and I will see you in the next one.